Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, NBA Talk with J Money and the Shark. I'm live, fresh out of bed, but energy as always. So I could just wake right up and do this shit. No coffee, no gas, no drain, no nothing. I hadn't had a drink of water. Drink of water real quick. My guy Shark, I believe he's in the background right now. The legend himself, my guy Shark in Sports. What's up, brother?
Well, I have to say, I have been up for a couple hours. I have had some coffee. I've had some water, and I'm ready to dominate. May 30th, 2021, Sunday, Memorial Day. I think people are probably struggling a little bit. I know I've talked to a few people today that are already at the bar, on the golf course, at the casino, drinking Bloody Marys, cocktails, maybe a little gas per J Money Cash Money in the clouds. But we are centered and we are here. Quadruple header of NBA basketball today. 1 p.m. It all kicks off. The flag behind me is here, and I have potentially a little bit of conflict in my environment here. And J Money, where do you want to begin on this fine, sharp Sunday?
1 second, my guy. I'm trying to get my AirPods connected, man. My damn AirPods. Let me see. Just give me 1 second. Let me see. 1 second, my guy. Connecting. My guys. Shark, you can go ahead and break them off with the first game of the day, the early game, my guys. Finna start here about an hour and 30 minutes. Go ahead and break them off while I try to work through these technical difficulties, my guy.
See, this is the beauty of J Money and the Shark. ESPN here, they have 50 technicians, they have producers, they have teleprompters, they have pre-written scripts. We just love to flow. And where do we flow? We flow to the State Farm Arena, 1 p.m., matinee. It's going to go down. And what you find here is really just a desperation spot for the Knicks, but then you ask yourself a question. How desperate really is it? And I was going into the psychology of it last night, and I was saying to Jay, we went on there last night, I was saying to a couple other people, it's really interesting when you look at this. The Knicks only have to win one road game this series to win the series. They still do host Game 5 and Game 7. And if you really look at it, I think this game takes on a bit of a black hole environment for them because you have a bit of a look ahead to the biggest home game of the year with the biggest crowd in the sport 2 games from now. And truthfully, if you're the Knicks and you're in their mind, you know you're going to win that game. And then you go on the road for Game 6, and you'll be down 3-2 theoretically. And that's the game. That's it. That's for survival. You have one game. You get a bigger effort in Game 6 down 3-2 than you get in Game 4 down 2-1. And again, they only have to win one road game. I think this does take on a bit of a look-ahead effect to the big, huge home crowd in Game 5. And then, of course, if they steal Game 6, they get Game 7 in Madison Square Garden, which, I mean, I pray for anybody who's trying to do anything normal in New York for a week. I mean, the earthquake will be radiating through 34th and 8th all the way uptown through the Bronx. But when you really look at this today, I think Atlanta is a significant look here. I'm just being perfectly honest. I sprinkled on Atlanta -4.5. I did not throw a full unit. One thing I cannot do is fade my squad and really have significant cash on it in a big game. I am a huge Knicks fan. I was born in New York. I grew up in New Jersey. And truthfully, 1 unit for me is not worth ruining my watch at 1 o'clock rooting for my team in their first playoff series in 8 years. So I'm advising you guys, the Hawks to the side. I'm just telling you straight up, I do not have a lot of money on this side. Jay?
What's up, my guy? Yeah? So the AirPods are connected. Somebody, so they trying like, oh, let's mess up with his Bluetooth so that he can't be all the way 100% up. But we're still here. Woke up I had to see what the ref assignments was, my guys. So I mean, you guys know the guy Scott Foster. I mean, he could be in here for Atlanta. It could be for the over. I think the over might be some. He's a real whistle happy ref. I'm just glad he's not in the Lakers game. I'm with you on that. I mean, it's a couple ways of looking at it. Obviously, the Knicks could be in a desperation spot, but the Hawks are the better team here. You saw this line open up at 4.5. It is up to 5 now, taking some money. So, I mean, the money's coming on the Hawks. What the Hawks like to do, well, what the Knicks like to do, the Hawks are pretty much stifling them I'll be honest. I'll find it hard to see that the Knicks will be able to win 3 straight games versus the Hawks. But I mean, all they need is a game 7, and it'll be like an ultimate. All eyes will be on that. I'll tell you the truth. But like I say, when it's an early game like this, matinee type game, it's going to be a noon start where I'm at 1:00 Eastern. It's home team or no team for me. Usually, I might usually look toward. I really do think those early games favor the home squad. That's the only way I would look at here. I know in theory it's a spot where the Knicks, if they want to try and tie this series up, they want to, come in here and do it. It's almost like the same one with the Sun. The difference is here, the Knicks, they just haven't been able to do what they like to do. Julius Randle has not been able to get hot. Why? Because they have so many different defenders to throw at him. Capella, Hunter. I mean, you can kind of throw some small guys at Julius Randle because he's not an actual center. But what he likes to do, I mean, those fadeaway jump shots, when the shots are not falling, Randle's not the same. That's what you see happening, my guys. The Hawks have a lot of defenders, 1 through 10. These boys are stacked, and they have the offense to catapult them just above the Knicks there. So yeah, be interested to see what happens in this one. If it'll be a Knicks type of game, it'll be defensive, and if it's a Hawks type of game, like Hawks and over likely correlate in this particular game, my guys.
Yeah, and one thing we were talking about last night, which I think is really important. Julius Randle and RJ Barrett improved their 3-point ball this year by such a wide margin, but they did it in regular season basketball. And of course, everybody that watches the NBA knows this, but it's worth pointing out. The defense in the NBA in regular season is fairly non-existent, and they were getting really good looks. They were not finding a lot of rotations coming out to the perimeter on these shots, and it's all about continuity in your mind. And they were comfortable, and they trusted themselves. You saw how RJ Barrett came out this year. He couldn't hit a shot for the first 20 games of the year. Don't check me on that, 10 games. He was ice cold. Then he was hot, right? So you can tell he's a mental guy. And he's got a great dad. When he in the draft, I remember the whole thing. They were crying. I was just feeling the vibe. And so he's a passionate guy. Passionate thinking people have the ability to overthink more than non-thinking people. And I think RJ's overthinking it. I think he's cold. He's thinking too much. But I think outside of that, the pressure is just something he's never felt on his shot. And same thing with Julius Randle. You see, Randle looks like a fish out of water. He has no idea what he's doing. Really, he looks horrible. But I don't think that's necessarily going to come the other direction, because I think they're playing a totally different style of basketball in the playoffs. And I think this efficiency that they developed was regular season dependent.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's really good points there, my guy. You're definitely going to need Barrett and Randle to be at their best if the Knicks have any chance. And when you see them not at their best and it's having to be Derrick Rose, then that's when you see that's why they're struggling right now. Randle is their best player. Barrett has been the reason why they've gotten to this space with him hitting threes. I mean, shooting the three better than normal. And now it seems like they just can't make a shot right now. So be interested to see what happens in this game. I must say, I don't have anything on it. I'll never bet a Scott Foster ref game another day in my life. It's just a pact that I made with myself. I don't care how much I like the game. I told you I like the Suns. If Scott Foster's reference game, I'd be off of it. I don't know why. He knows what I like or what I'm on, and he goes the opposite, my guy. So maybe I'll put a little some on Nick so my guy can win his Hawks bet. I want my guy to cash. I want all of you guys to cash, man. That's why we're here.
And one final point. I'm just looking at the chat. Somebody said, I think Randle and Barrett show up today. There's a difference between showing up and really wanting to do it and doing it. I don't think they have the quality to do it, if I'm just being honest. This is not Steph Curry. I mean, he's not people don't understand this. Like I always say, Steph Curry changed the game for better or worse. And what I mean is that he changed the game in a great way. It's highly entertaining to watch. The guy is incredible to watch himself. But you get a lot of guys that really are not of that quality shooting the basketball, but they think they are, and they take too many shots. I mean, even last night, I'm watching Jaren Jackson flail threes. I'm like, this guy has no business taking threes, And you see it here. Like Julius Randle is not like a purebred 3-point shooter. Neither is RJ Barrett. They are not purebred shooters. So again, they can show up with the intention, but do they have the quality? That's the question you have to ask yourself.
Exactly. I can't wait to watch this game, man. This is definitely one where the type of game where I don't bet on. I just watch. I'll likely just be betting one game today. I don't know. I mean, I kind of talked myself into the Nets first half, but let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. Let's talk about this. So my guy liking the Hawks. I thought you was gonna bring the head out, man. You got to bring that head out for him.
I told you, I have to allow my fan self to enjoy this game. It's just not worth it for me. I'm not going to get that many big games with the Knicks. I haven't gotten one in a decade almost, so I got to enjoy it. I'm just being dead honest.
Exactly. Now I understand that. So we got the Suns here. Talk about over a decade guys not being in the playoffs. Suns haven't been in there forever. You got the Lakers who's looking at back to back, trying to get back to back championships. In my opinion, so we'll see what happens here. This is a pivotal game 4 over there in LA. It is the weekend, I believe. I believe it's Sunday afternoon, my guys. Over there, no Scott Foster, the sixth man of the year for the Lakers. Like he will be in Atlanta today. But regardless of that, my guys, I like the Suns here. No, Chris Paul's questionable. I expect him to suit up. Regardless, Cameron Payne has not been terrible for the Suns. The way these guys play defense, the way that they take the game so serious with their coach, one of the best coaches in the league here. I gotta put someone the Suns here. Like I said, they get +7. I still like the +6.5. I can put like this. I can see the Suns win this game. So if I'm getting points here, I have to take it. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see the Suns with an outright win. If the Lakers come in here with a tad bit of complacency, you see LeBron smiling last game. What I saw was them letting their foot off the gas. They got up 16, 18 points. Then the Suns went on a run. I mean, you showed it. You see LeBron out there smiling and having fun. That's not the LeBron that you want. They were up by a bunch at that point. That you begin to think that things are too easy. You begin to not come in the game with an as serious tone or whatever, and that's what you want to see from LeBron. You don't want to see smiles. I remember when he was in Miami, they were down 3-2 versus Spurs, and he had a game with no smiles whatsoever. It was all serious business. I saw the exact opposite in Game 3. I said, you know what? In Game 4, I can see the Suns coming in more serious and maybe coming in and smack them boys, bro. So, and just a few trends, my guys. Lakers 0-7 against the spread last 7 games, following a straight up win of more than 10 points. 0-4 against the spread last 4 games, playing on 2 days rest, and they're also 3-13 against the spread in their last 16 games, following a straight up win. I know there were some games without LeBron. Anthony Davis is not 100%. He will play 40 minutes in the last game, grimacing at his knee and stuff. We know how Anthony Davis could see Anthony Davis headed to the locker room. Regardless, everybody's playing for the Lakers. Everybody should be playing for the Suns. Full squad versus full squad. Give me the +6.5, +7 with the Suns. And not necessarily a must-win game, but a very pivotal game in this series. And seeing that they are the number 2 seed, they want to do everything they have to try and come in here and make it 2-2 going back to Phoenix. Shark, what you like?
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't love the game in general. Just without Chris Paul and having seen the flow, and then what we were talking about last night, where of course the Lakers are just massively undervalued at the 7th seed, and we don't like it's just misgraded in my opinion. But I don't disagree. I mean, I think buying a team down 2-1 in desperation mode is obviously high merit at all points in time. And even when you look at the last game, Phoenix just fell apart in the second quarter, and then subsequently the third quarter as well. They did make a big push in the first and the fourth. That second quarter was an absolute outlier on all points. I mean, it was 16-12. I thought I was watching like middle school basketball. And, I think they're going to bounce back. I think the pace should be there a little bit higher because the pace tried to get there last game. It just was really – that's the definition of an outlier is when you have 3 quarters that are all averaged out to mid to high 50s and 1 quarter at 28. I mean, that is just like – hard to explain, really. And I think the pace will come up, and I do think you're going to see a highly competitive game. So I definitely couldn't talk you off this one.
Exactly. Yeah, the way I'm looking at the game, guys, I see a 3 or 4 point win by either team. I said it last night. Even if the Lakers win this one, guys, we have room to, we're taking a dog. And just another thing, every favorite cash yesterday, it doesn't mean a ton, but it does make me feel a little bit better about finding some value in a dog today, especially going up against a very public team like the Lakers. One more further point to that, KCP did go out the last game, didn't come back with it. Likely translate to him not playing or even not at 100%. He is one of their starting guards, 3-and-D type of guy. And the way I've been watching this Lakers team, they have so many guards that can play defense. That's why they've been stifling this Game 2 and Game 3. That's why they've been stifling the Suns, what the Suns like to do, because they're a guard-heavy team as well. Only really have one real big out there in Aiden. So I know that the Lakers were getting wherever they want in the paint in Game 3. The Suns are a really good coach team, a really well-mannered team, and they have high basketball IQ as well as CP3. They know what they got beat at. They will likely look at the film, hone in on it, and come back with a lot better effort here and likely try to tie this series up. Even if they don't, I'm catching 6.5. If they happen to lose by double digits, guys, I'll just have to eat my loss. But I know how the Suns team operate. I do think you'll see a very focused squad today. And you give me full game plus the 6.5 with the Lakers being banged up and disrespecting the Suns. LeBron out here having toying with Crowder. Like I said, guys, everybody in the chat last night saying Crowder's trash. He'll likely likely feels very disrespected. In my account online, guys, it was crazy because just real quick, I had some cents in there. It was 99. I had just made a bet, whatever. It was 99, or no, the Blazers in the Jazz first half cash. 99 cents in there. So you know what? Let me see. If I'm not mistaken, Jay Crowder is number 99. The main player, Phil Disrespect. I think he'll have a big game today, guys. Just some shit I was seeing numerically, but regardless, for a bunch of reasons. I'm just talking some shit. But I like the Suns here, guys, for a lot of reasons. I do think CP3 will play. I do think he's getting slowly but surely healthier and healthier. In game 3, he actually started to take more shots. So I do think he's starting to get closer to 100%. He's questionable. He'll likely play. Cameron Payne's been very good energy off the bench. Booker, you'll need a better game. Get to the hole, try to draw them fouls, my guys. Hey, you got to get off in the paint, man. But yeah, 6.5 Suns. I'll go official like a referee blowing a whistle. Is the sun out right now? Don't believe so, but I have the sunglasses on. Shark, what do you think? You want to go to the next game, my guy?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Nets bets. Nets versus Celtics, my guys. We was talking about this one last night. It was at 7, I believe. It's up to 7.5 now. I think that the Nets in the first half could be a very strong look, my guys. They know they will have to come out and likely put this team away early. Like we were talking last night, Celtics, if anything, may try to make a late push. I can see the Nets coming out with business after getting their asses handed to them in the last game. Letting Tatum go off for 50. They will be likely double teaming him, making the rest of the team beat him. Kemba Walker question. No, the main thing, no Robert Williams. So you will have Tristan Thompson starting at the 5. The Nets, I could see them smacking the shit out them boys. I'm heavy lean to Nets first half for me, my guys.
Yeah, agreed. Haven't gone official with this one yet, as we are not even at high noon on the East Coast. But I think what you said is absolutely correct. Bounce back effort off of really kind of an inexplicable performance last game. I don't think anybody saw that coming. And it was Jason Tatum. He went off for 50 points, and he was a walking heater. That was it. And, we said it last night. Brooklyn came out with intensity in the last game. They were up 19-4 in the game and then just let off the handle. And we talk about this all the time in terms of ebbs and flows within a game. To really win a 4-quarter game, you never want to just go so hard that you are up like 20 points in like 3 minutes and then you let off. It's human nature, right? You can't sustain that. You're not going to win the game by 200 points. Mm-hmm. So I think they almost overdid it emotionally. And of course, there's always that secondary emotional element with Kyrie Irving coming back to Boston. I think none of us entirely know what goes on in Kyrie's mind across all different points, but we don't know how he reacts, generally speaking, to being in Boston. He made a couple of comments about racism, and, I'm not going to go there. I mean, I don't know. But, he really is a passionate guy. He's very politicized. And the whole thing with Boston was really weird. Like, they did not get along. They blamed him for all sorts of stuff, and now it's coming back. Like, Brad Stevens obviously can't motivate the group, so was it really Kyrie or not? And I think that, again, we were talking about with RJ Barrett, thinking, emotional, passionate guys. Kyrie is a thinking, emotional, passionate guy. They come in there. There's all sorts of abstract points. They come out super hot. They can't sustain it, whatever. And I think when you come in here today, you're going to go back to what was the trend in Boston all season, which is just being totally inefficient in the first half at home. And I don't think you're going to get Jason Tatum going out for 50 again, although maybe you are. I mean, he's our only real legit offensive threat off the dribble. Mm-hmm. But I do think Brooklyn will take care of business tonight. Not finalized yet, but I do think it's a solid look.
Exactly. Yeah, I can only be looking towards Knicks here. In all honesty, I could see a trifecta spot, to be honest with you, for the Nets here. Heavy leans to me in that first half, guys. I might get there. What is it, sitting at -4 for the first half? And you get that dynamic. The Celtics will have a huge crowd here. They will be up for this game. But like I said, we know the Nets just overmatched them. In the last game, the Celtics really found some. And just to hone in on that one point, Marcus Smart was the main one. They come out and saying that the Celtics fans have a lot of racist guys. Then Kyrie was saying that as well when he was there. I mean, we know they're up there in Boston, but it happens. I mean, they love their team, but obviously when shit goes sour or whatever, I mean, it's a tough world that we live in, my guys, simply put. But yeah, I can only be looking towards the Nets here. I think I told people the Celtics might get one game. They had their game. They pretty much shot their low. You see what I'm saying? They had Tatum for 50. The rest of the guys, they lost Williams. That's not good. So, I mean, I'd rather lose and still have Williams out there. They lost him. He won't be playing at all today, my guys. That's not good. He is their best center by far. Best defensive center is at that. So I know Thompson's been trying to play a lot better, but Nets first half full game, my guys. That's what I would be looking at here. I'm gonna see if I can cash with the Suns before I put some money.
One thing that just is difficult for me, Boston all year has been really hard to predict. Mm-hmm. It's one of those, we always say, trust your gut. And my gut just oddly is telling me that this Boston could show up again. And it's like, you even look at last game, Brooklyn, their top 3 guys scored 96 points. Mm-hmm. and they still didn't even win the game. And then you start to ask yourself, are they schematically unbalanced like that, where the other guys are not getting involved? Their best ball in the regular season, the second unit was playing like 12 to 18 minutes. They were going like 12 deep. Like I think that, again, maybe they're like clamming up a little bit here in the playoffs where it's just too much ISO ball from the stars. And I think this is what people actually were saying, when this whole thing came together, was just this idea, like, what's going to happen when you actually are in the playoffs and it's pressure cooker time. Right. And they didn't respond well there. They didn't play particularly well in game 1. Game 2 was clearly the bounce back. And again, trust me, I'm not disagreeing that Brooklyn's not a good side here. I just think that there is a bit of a counter narrative here where I don't really love fading Boston in a desperation game, because Boston knows if they lose tonight, they're done in game 5. So this is, again, it's tough. It's different than the Knicks because the Knicks have home court advantage. Boston does not have home court advantage. So as much as the Knicks could lose this one and still get 2 more home games, Boston has to go on the road for 2 if they lose tonight. So this is like survival mode. Like I said, the Knicks game 6 would be survival mode. Tonight is survival mode for Boston. And I just think there's just enough of a counter narrative there where it could go the other direction. I don't know.
Exactly. I think the first half, like I said, I wouldn't be taking – put like this. I think if I'm taking something here, it's gonna be Nets first half. It's gonna be Nets in the first half. I would stay away from the full game. Yeah, first half. -3.5, few places. Basically -4 though. I might sprinkle some on that because I think if the Celtics they have anything, they'll try to come back and have a punch maybe after halftime. But I see the Nets coming out here pissed from that last game. They got all the crowds over there. Kyrie, like, okay, full squad in the house now. Let me come and show up. Francine from Arthur. Oh, we got Baxter. So Kyrie is Francine, KD is Baxter, and then Harden is DW. You see what I'm saying? From Arthur. You dig it. But yeah. Nets first half, man. That's what I would be looking at. It's not official right now. I like this dog today. Suns official. Like a referee blowing the whistle. After that, it would be Nets in the first half, -4. Last game up, man, we got the Clippers versus the LACs versus the Mavs versus my Mavs squad. I'd be interested to see what happens. Can we go up 3-1? Is it going to be tied 2-2 after today? If you listened to the show last night, I said likely tied 2, mainly because Luka's not 100%. Little inside info, cervical pain, almost like a nervous type injury. It's not good with a heavy volume shooter like Luka, and they're already trying to beat him up as well. So, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to make them feel their presence. Maybe they gave the LACs a little bit of confidence. They had lost 5 straight playoff games, finally got over the hump. I hate to say it, I love my Mavs squad. If they let the Clippers get too much confidence, we may not win another game. And it's just one of those states because we know, my Mavs team are good. They can match up with the Clippers. The Clippers are a better squad. Simply put. You see the prices that are in the games. They are the better squad. At some point, you just have to, realize that. But this is a pivotal game because the Mavs could put something up and go up 3-1 here. So this is a tough game, I must say. It's a tough one. I can only look towards the favorite in this one, I must say. But what you thinking, Sharp?
Yeah, I think it's tough because, again, we were saying it last night. You get the revenge factor for the Mavs, which is where they functioned really well all year. They had showcased this throughout the whole season. They would lose game 1 to a team in these back-to-backs, and they would come back with a huge effort. So you get that, but then you also get the series revenge element for the Clippers, who still are not in control of home court advantage. And the Clippers need to win this game to reset home court advantage to full neutral. And then, of course, you get a 3-game series to see who wins games, 5, 6, and 7. So you get a merge motivational factor there, which is really difficult. The one thing I do not like for the Mavs at all, and I've been saying this for most of the year, I do not like how Kristaps Porzingis is playing.
Terrible. Paper plate?
Horrible. I don't know what the deal is. Of course, he did get hurt, but he is so contact averse. He looks like he's scared. He just sits out on the perimeter and flings threes. And even when he gets down low, it's like he's getting thrown around. He looks uncomfortable. It reminds me of when a young kid grows too quickly and he's in 6th grade basketball and he's 6 feet tall and the whole game is 4'5" kids. And there's just this gawky tall guy that just doesn't know how to function in the game. He looks so uncomfortable. And it's sad to see for me because, obviously when he was on the Knicks, we thought he was going to be our savior. But, he was good. Then he got hurt, and then there was all sorts of weird things. But I just really do not like the way he is functioning within this group on the court. And I think he just looks uncomfortable mentally as well. Just weird.
He's one of those players that he's very injury prone, simply put.
Yeah.
He's just injury prone. I remember with the Knicks, before those first injuries, Porzingis was a baller. He was the best player on the team by far. Porzingis was a baller. Obviously, injuries can really just derail some of these guys. He is a taller, slimmer guy, putting a lot of pressure on those knees. And when you are injury prone like that, you get like that, especially against a Clippers team that got really physical with them. I mean, we have to say, because Porzingis didn't have a bad game 1 or game 2. The Mavs as his whole squad were balling. They come to the house in an absolute terrible spot. Maybe Porzingis had too much fun with his girl. They always say women take away the legs. You never know, man. But he looked like a totally different person in that one. I always say it. And so that's crazy because that was the spot to fade out. Now they're off the law, still at the house. Now it's just that now they have Luka not playing well. Now, I think he got subbed out pretty quick in that game. I'm starting to wonder, did that injury happen fairly early in the game? Because they were about to smack the Clippers up. They got up 26-8, some shit like that, like 16-18 real quick. And then the Clippers come back, you know what I'm saying, storming back. But I'm starting to wonder maybe if that happened early in the game, that's why Luka went out real quick. Yeah. No, Kleber does not suck. Kleber has an Achilles injury as well, and Kleber was huge for the Mavs in game 1's game 2. It's crazy how y'all turn on a player real quick. The Mavs whole squad, Tim Hardaway Jr., Kleber, and Porzingis, and Luka were balling out in the Clippers the first 2 games. Now they've had one bad game, and everybody think they suck. I was hoping Kleber would sit out a few of those games. That's how much better he was making the Mavs, my guy. So
yeah. One more point. Eric Chang in the chat, our man, I always like his commentary. He said KP wants to be the franchise. He doesn't want to play second fiddle. I couldn't agree more. We've said this numerous times. KP cannot function underneath Luka. And I mean, Luka is honestly he's a total superstar. He's only 22 years old. KP's a little older. I think it's just a relationship gone awry. And I think that KP, as much as he might not be able to lead a franchise as the alpha dog right now in his career, we don't know, first of all. He doesn't get the ball enough. He's not in the right spots on the court to really be effective. I think that underneath Luka's personality and his ball usage rate, KP cannot function here at all.
Exactly. I don't know, man. Like I said, I watched this team a lot this year. When Luka and KP are both going together, I do think that they can play off each other. The main thing right now is Porzingis hadn't even played enough games. I mean, he'll go through these long stretches where he's not playing. I mean, you could argue that they don't really still have a whole lot of continuity. The Mavs have a bunch of guys. You know what I'm saying? Luka, he's their best player. So if KP, I don't know where he would go. I feel like they got him simply to go with Luka. I mean, it's a whole nother conversation. It's not what we're here to talk about, but they got him simply because those two came from like the same type of region, whatever. They really get along. They speak the same type of languages and stuff. So they actually, those two actually really get along outside of basketball or whatever. And they was, you know what I'm saying, thinking it might translate on the floor. I think it's mainly Porzingis. We know Luka's a baller. He can play with anybody in the league. Porzingis has to stay healthy. He can't be afraid of contact. He needs to bulk up, get in the gym. Simply put some muscle on. So that's just knowing.
We just still haven't seen Luka really get into like a great offensive unit and diversify his game to a certain degree. Like I look at like a LeBron James, not the same player, but LeBron functions really well with other superstars because he likes to distribute. Luka doesn't strike me as a distributor by nature. And again, it's not a knock on his game at all, but I do think that he's going to have to make some adjustments in his game to potentially go through into a championship type of roster because it's just too much ISO ball, way too much ISO ball, and default ISO ball.
Unfortunately, that's what the NBA is this now, though, bro. That's what it is.
To a degree. I mean, you look at the Warriors going back to 2014; they were the polar opposite, and they had superstars too that could shoot fucking lights out in the gym, and they were pass first, open man, and they had the most efficient offense. The most fluid, beautiful offense we've seen in a decade. I mean, it was gorgeous to watch, really.
They also had one of the best defenses, though, as well. My God, they were so well balanced. I mean, we know. I mean, I'll never respect KD for going to the Warriors. I'll never respect him. You're up 3-1 versus a team, and then you go and join them after you fucking lost to them. You're the biggest coward ever, and you should go bald. But we got to wrap this up, my God. He should go bald ASAP. That's probably why his hair will start to go so bad. You want to go to the Warriors? Okay, punish him. But now let's go. Break him off with your officials, my guy, before we get out of here.
Well, as I said, I'm not going big on this because it's really hard for me to fade my team in a must-win game. But my top play of the day is Atlanta -4.5, half unit for me. Jay?
Full unit for me, man. I'm going with the Suns, man.
Jay, you're going full unit?
Yeah, no, I'm going with the Suns here. I like them. I'll be honest. I hopped on them +7 and +6.5 now. I still like it. I think they keep this game within 3 or 4 points. I think they could win this game. And so, if a winnable game with a dog, especially getting this amount of points, I'm getting almost 3 possessions. It's more than 2 possessions because it's over 6. So yeah, give me the 6, give me 6.5 with the Suns. I like them. I think it's possible for an outright win here. I see a 3 or 4 point. Whoever wins this game is going to be by 3 or 4. I see a real tight game going down to the fourth quarter. I'm getting 6.5 with a desperation type team Suns that's going to play real sticky defense in this type of game, and sense of urgency is there, the motivation's there, and they feel a little bit disrespected how LeBron and AD was toying with them last game. AD not 100%. LeBron not as locked in as you would like to see him, smiling a little bit too much out there, having a tad bit too much fun out there. It's not that easy, my guy. Will likely be a whole lot harder this game. I would like to see LeBron taking this one serious. I mean, I'm not saying he's not going to take it serious, but saw a few too many smiles. I saw too much white teeth out there in the last game. You're getting a little too happy. I said then that I made a decision. I'll be on the Suns in this game. They feel disrespected. Give me the points here. Even if they lose, I can see them keeping this one close. Suns plus the 6.5 official, like a referee blowing a whistle. 5-11 watching right now, my guys. I really do appreciate you. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hit the tweet it out as well, man. Share this to Twitter if you can. If you don't know how, just retweet one of our tweets, man. We really appreciate you, boys. That's my guy, is Shark. Follow him on Twitter at Shark and Sports. I'm your host, as always. The hostess with the mostest at J Money is Money on Twitter as well, man. Let's cash these Suns, whether the sun is out or not. I like them. Heavy lean to Nets in the first half as well, my guy. And I hope my guy Shark cashes with the Hawks as well, man. I hope everybody cashes today. Let's go undefeated. Let's have a good Sunday, guys. Live your life. Happiness, peace and happiness, my guys. We gone.